Fit check. Fit check. Let me tell you a little bit about the woman standing before you. I am a fatherless girl from the projects with a mother who suffers from mental illness. I grew up with poverty and homelessness. I endured rape and incest. I told someone like we are told to do. No one did anything. No one heard my voice. No police, no counseling, just pretending. I got pregnant at 13. No one cared. I had to figure it out. I got on public aid. Every month, I would receive $192 in cash and $303 in food stamps. I stopped going to school. Parents did not want their daughters to play with me anymore. I was labeled as fast. I could have turned out much differently. The system I grew up in was not designed for me to dream the American dream. But I dreamed anyway. I never gave up. I was determined to make sure that my children would never experience what I had experienced, that they would never know homelessness or having the lights going out. I beat the system. I was the feel-good story. I joined the Army Reserves. I got my bachelor's degree. I had a career. I landed my dream job. I no longer was eating hand to hand. I bought a house, the first in my generation to do so. I had a husband. I could take vacations. I found joy. I was now in a position to help others. From the age of 16 on, I have opened my home and heart to those in need. I kept dreaming bigger dreams. After all the abuse and trials, I overcame. I was the conqueror. I wanted more. I grew vain. I could not be content with what I worked so hard for. I got greedy. My inside personality was full of confidence and joy and laughter. I was unsatisfied with what my body had become. I wanted my outside to match my inside. I worked hard for it. I lost the weight. But I still wanted to feel good in a bikini for my big 40th birthday bash in Miami. I went for breast enhancements, a tummy tuck. But I think God used my vanity against me. Instead of getting the boob job, I was diagnosed with stage 0 breast cancer. So instead, I got a whole double mastectomy and free boobs. I wasn't required to have any other treatments, and my survival rate was 90%. I was 39 years old, and I have to admit, I did not take care of myself. I was not doing those self-breast exams like they tell you to do. If I had done so, I would have noticed the change in my breast. I learned that minority women are at a higher risk of late-stage diagnosis. There often isn't enough information on preventative care, financial assistance, or increasing minority survival rates. I knew I could use my story to help raise awareness. I needed a platform. I picked up the phone and I called Susan G. Komen of Peoria. They followed my story and shared every step during their Buddy Check 25 news segment. You know, I ain't never been shy. I continued working with Susan G. Komen to encourage more minority women to learn about breast health. For my 40th birthday, we hosted a mammogram-a-thon to encourage at least 40 women to get their diagnostic mammograms. 2 women I personally knew were diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer because of this event. And we know that early diagnosis equals longer life expectancy. It brought me so much joy to use my voice and my story to help other women. I even started Living to Serve Foundation in 2013 to increase awareness of women's health by providing programming, resources, and education. But my story wasn't over. I continued to chase vanity. I had not learned my lesson. I had several implant changes. I joined a study that would give me the new teardrop effect. I wanted to look fabulous. No bra, standing ovation at all times. The perfect set. For 2 years, I was living the dream, and now I had all this knowledge on breast care. I was feeling myself all the time. And then I got a call and a letter. Apparently, my new showstoppers could cause cancer. Well, I had options. I could either take them out completely and go flat-chested. Now, y'all know that wasn't happening. Or I can get a new set for free. I chose the option to take the fat from my stomach. I know it don't look like it. And make some new boobs. I figured I can't get cancer from my own fat. And I can get a tummy tuck for free. Come on, y'all. I ended up having 4 surgeries, weekly stays in the hospital, several infections, and then the world went on lockdown. What a mess. Of course, I continued filling myself up. And I started to feel several lumps in my left breast and 2 in my right breast. I was told continuously that it was something called fat necrosis. But the lumps were growing. I was not going to settle for their opinion that it was fat necrosis. My intuition was telling me something, and I insisted on getting an MRI. But before my appointment, I got really sick, and I had to go to the ER. They did a CT scan and found 2 cancerous tumors in my spine. I'm like, what? November 2021, my world turned upside down. First, you know us. We're going to have us dead in 7 days. After multiple tests, I was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Due to the aggressiveness of my cancer, it was suggested that I would have 3 to 5 years, but they have seen 7 to 10 with aggressive chemo treatments. I endured 5 months of intravenous chemo, 36 rounds of radiation. Chemo was rough, and I lost my hair. I cried about losing my hair. Radiation, for me, was worse than chemo. When I finished my 36 rounds, the doctor said, "We need to see you in 4 months." Nah, doc, I ain't coming back. Chemo was rough for me. So much for vanity. I lost my left breast. My right breast tends to rest under my right arm. I'm learning to cope with how it all turned out. I was so determined to have the perfect breast. And now, one of them is a prosthetic. Now, you know where it's at? Sitting at home on the shelf. I was going to bring it with me, but Nikki said you are not going to be walking around on this stage with a prosthetic breast. Sorry, y'all. At first, I thought God was using my vanity against me in all of this, but by taking my joy away. But when I look back, it was actually my vanity that led me to my first diagnosis. And when I opened up about my journey, I was able to help others do the same, which gave me joy. My story is still not done. No one was meant to be here forever. It is what you do with the time you have here. In the past 24 months, I have traveled to Egypt, Greece, Ghana, Paris, Jamaica, Mexico, Dubai, and the Bahamas. I went on 4 cruises. I mourned the loss of my hair, but for my 50th birthday, I owned it and celebrated in St. Lucia anyway. I was told not to travel, but y'all know I'm hard-headed. If I'm leaving this earth anyway, I am going to enjoy the time that I have to the fullest. I have chosen to live out loud, unapologetically, transparent, and joyful.